So hello, my name is Evan Hooker, and I am the author of the Warriors Legacy trilogy, which is a sci-fi fantasy action adventure. I wouldn't say I knew how old I was when I wanted to become a writer. It's still more or less a hobby, but it is a career that I am pursuing. It's something I am passionate about. Writing was just something I did for fun, and then as I got older, it became something that I really felt I enjoyed doing, so I just kept doing it. And this may sound a little cheesy, but I was more or less the biggest inspiration to myself, uh, basically because when I saw the excitement on people's faces that I had actually written something, I could tell that it, it it was something they were truly interested in. So I thought that I could be the one to make myself be the person to do that. Let's see, they were Tolkien, of course. I was big into Tolkien. I read The Hobbit rather quickly, and then I went back and read it again. Um, I also like James Patterson. I was more of a fan of his Maximum Ride series as opposed to his murder mysteries. Uh, I also like Sarah Douglas. Who else do I like? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to imagine my bookshelf right now, which is actually in the other room. But yeah, two of the biggest were definitely Tolkien and James Patterson. Advice for upcoming writers. I would say that you shouldn't rush yourself. Just because you want to get this project, this dream done, finish whatever you want to call it. Uh, it's better to make sure you do it right instead of doing it quick. I think any writer always has another project coming, whether or not they're working on it. I currently have three projects in mind, two of which take place in the same universe as my trilogy, and then I also have one that's just kind of this side project that I started forever ago and just got back to and realized that it needs a full brush up. It kind of needs to be almost redone instead of editing. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Another thing about me is I actually didn't go to college for writing. I actually went to college for acting, theater acting, and that is also another career that I would love to pursue. It's just one of those things that's harder to get into, but you got to keep pursuing. So I'm going to get back to that as soon as I can. I'm looking at the sheet over here. Let's see. The first one I saw that I thought it'd be interesting. It says, "Do you have any scars? Tell us about one." Okay, so I have several scars, and most of them are actually from surgeries. But I, in particular, have a scar. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. I don't know if you can see that. Right there above my thumb. So that scar is from a shoulder surgery. When I was in high school freshman year, I was on the track team and I threw shot put, and I actually, during my spin, I dislocated my shoulder, and it like ripped a whole bunch of ligaments and tendons, and it just stretched them out, and I ended up having to get surgery to like put all that stuff back together. So it was not a good sports year for me. Luckily, that was in the spring, so I didn't have to worry about like the rest of the year. Okay, have you ever dressed up as one of your characters? Which one? I actually haven't done that yet, but I am currently, it's actually sitting here. I'm actually working on one right now. I'm working on, this is like the leg guard, but this isn't a character in the story, but it's in the one I'm working on. So yeah, I'm gonna be dressing up as one of my characters. His name is Johare, and he's an elite guard of the Elder Dragons, and uh, I like the idea of this character because he is so influential to the lore of this universe I've created. And I think when I go around to like book signings, I would love to dress up as this character just to see like the reactions of people that show up, and who knows what would go on. The weirdest, the weirdest thing I have ever eaten. I had a dog bone. I ate a whole dog. Well, it wasn't like one of those big ones. It was just like kind of one of those small, crunchy ones. But I ate this dog bone for $5, and it actually didn't taste bad, but it was very, very dry. I had like a full glass of water after it. It wasn't gross. It was just weird. Okay, so when I first saw this question, I was a little hesitant, but I think I'll answer it. So it's, what are your three biggest fears? And I feel I should answer these because if you put those fears out there, eventually hopefully you'll conquer them. So my three biggest fears would be, one, falling away from my beliefs. So I am a Christian, so I do believe in Jesus, and there's been many times in my life where that's been challenged, that it's been put to the test, and right now I've beaten all those challenges. I'm still a firm believer, and for me to fall away from that would be hugely devastating. My second biggest fear would be falling back to the person that I used to be, and I say that in an odd kind of way, but I wasn't exactly a happy-go-lucky person, and there were a lot of things that I didn't do, and the saying goes, you don't regret the things you did, you regret the things you didn't do, and I kind of have a list of those things because of the person I used to be, and I don't want to go back to that. And my third biggest fear would be not being recognized, and I know that may sound kind of selfish or kind of, I don't know, dreamlike, but I feel that I've put a lot of work into what I do in terms of acting and writing, and for that not to be seen by other people is just devastating. So I gotta keep working at it, and hopefully one day I'll be up there where people will go, I know that guy. All right, so here's another three. Who would you say are the three greatest living musicians? All right, now the thing is, it says living, so to me, that eliminates some of the greaters, like in the classical, Mozart and wow, brain fart, but yeah, all of the classical composers, because I feel they're some of the greatest that inspired a lot. But three of the greatest living musicians. For me personally, I love Josh Turner. I think he's an underrated country musician, that he writes songs that are really from the heart, and he's got that deepness when he sings. So I think his stuff is really great. Another musician, and I might get a lot of crap for this, but I think Taylor Swift actually does a really fine job for what she does. I know people give her a lot of crap about, she just dates people so she could break up and write songs, but at least she's doing something with that. She's not just kind of like, I don't know how to put it. I love her music. I could almost sing almost every one of her songs. And then the third greatest living, I guess number one, if I'm going third to first, Lindsey Stirling. If you don't know who she is, I would suggest you look her up. She's a great violinist. She's a great person. She's just really heartfelt about everything she does and the people she talks with. So I think, to me, it's not exactly the music that these people are producing, but it's the people themselves that are producing the music that, to me, makes them the greatest musicians. So yeah, that was my interview. So my name again, it's Evan Hooker, and I wrote the Warriors Legacy trilogy, and you can check out all my stuff with the links that go along with this video, and hopefully I'll see you at the Rust City Book Con.